What's happening, everybody? Time for another accountability success circle quickie.
Quickie.
Yes, we're about to get started, and being that it's the beginning of the year, we want to give you some tips on how to make new connections without coming across like a creep.
Creepy McCreepersons.
Right? We are going to get started in just a moment. If you can give us some of these hearts or thumbs up or clappy hands, let us know that you're watching. That would be appropriate. And April, we're going to get started in 3, 2, 1. What's up, everybody?
Woo-hoo! Let's get this quickie started.
Yes. What's up? It is time for another quickie. How are you doing, April?
I am fantabulous. How are you?
I'm doing all right. I'm doing in this moment right now. I'm feeling good. We're about to do, about to jump into it. Oh my God, innuendos.
I was like trying to keep a straight face for a second, but yeah. But this is number 46.
I know, right? Can you believe that?
Can you believe we've done it 46 times?
Right.
Oh God.
And what's happening? What's up? It's our girl Pat.
Oh, Pat, what's up, Mama?
Yeah, from H-Town. What's happening? All right, so let's get into it. So, it's a new year. A lot of times, people have things that they want to accomplish. Networking is usually one of them. But at the end of the day, it's important to connect with other people. But there is I feel like, sort of like a line where...
Yeah, those times when you get that message where like there's somebody who wants to connect with you, and then you on social media per se, and then they, as soon as you hit the accept button, they're like, hey, I'm here to, I help people like, 10 to 20x their income and blah, blah, blah. And like, basically like try to sell you. And I mean, maybe that's not creepy. It's like more annoying, but you don't want to set yourself up to connecting with people, and put them off before you've even really made a true connection. At least that's what's in my book. And so if you do that to me on any social media platform, like, some of these tips, and it's going to be kind of funny because that's how Gary and I met, through a social media connection, which we'll talk about later. But, look at how close we are, 46 quickies later, and, 2 years of really working together on creating this amazing community called the Accountability Success Circle. Like, we met on this offshoot of him reaching out to me, and I could have very well easily just disregarded him, but he was not creepy, which is why he's still in my circle. So we're going to teach you Gary's awesome strategies.
Right. If you want to connect with other people, because one of my values is connection. I love connecting with other people. I love helping other people connect. And look what April, she's bringing it out.
One of my values. She's bringing it
out. Okay. And like I said, there is a way that if you do it, is going to give you a better chance for success. Because I want to just start with this. I don't necessarily believe in this sort of approach. So again, if this is not your approach, hey, go find someone else that can help you, like 10x or whatever. But I remember someone had said, Gary, it's, you need to get through them, because the conversion rate on these things is like 3%. So you need to have these templates, and you need to get people on those calls as quickly as possible if you want to make all that revenue. And I said, okay, that's interesting. So, 3% conversion rate's about average. So what you're telling me is that the other 97% of those people don't count. The taste that you left in their mouth, is not, what about that? And so for me, I'm all about, hey, how can we do it so we can build a relationship? And without further ado, let's jump into it. This is number one, and this is important for anyone, especially if you want to make a relationship and connect and not sound like a creep or turn someone the wrong way. Do your homework.
Woot woot.
Yes.
The nice way of saying stalk appropriately. Just kidding.
Right.
Do a healthy stalking of who you're trying to connect with. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, if you want to, especially in this day and age, people are busy, and if I don't know about you, April, but I get LinkedIn requests. That's where I'm spending a lot of my time. These days. So what up, people on LinkedIn? I see you. And I get a number of requests. Some have messages attached, others don't, and I can tell when someone hasn't done their homework. Where they're just like, it seems like it's just a canned thing where they're just like, hey, I can tell that you're in marketing and I'm in marketing, so connect with me. And I'm like, who are you? Or they'll say something based on one data point that they saw on my LinkedIn and it's not even accurate. And I'm like, you obviously, I'm sorry. So again, if you want a good chance of connecting with them, do your homework. What are posts that they've posted recently that brought you value? What are they doing? Again, people want to connect with people that feel like you can sort of build a relationship with. So yeah, what are your thoughts on that?
I mean, so like I'm super passionate about this because I think that our world today, they're all about like how can you make the right connections and how do you do things fast and easy. And when people will reach out to you with a templated message, it feels very impersonal. And once upon a time, I was suggested that I should just connect with anybody and everybody who wanted to connect with me on LinkedIn because you just never know where that'll lead. But then lo and behold, I started seeing more and more people just connecting with me just so that they could sell me like in that instant without even knowing what it is that I really needed in that moment. And, I care about authenticity just as much as I care about connection. And so when I see people sending me a template, I feel like I'm just a number. And I know that sometimes people will just try to make connections to have more connections and broaden your network to kind of see who other people know, because maybe it'll get you to who you want to connect with faster. And so what we're suggesting is maybe not the quick way, but in terms of, increasing that 3% that they're saying we'll just connect with whoever because you'll get at least 3% to network. How about you spend less time contacting as many people, but really go for the things that you actually want and really get to know the people who you want to connect with, because those could be more powerful than the quantity of people that you're connected to. I'm sorry, I got really soapboxy about that, but do not connect with me on social media with a profile that says that you can like 10x my revenue, because that's not what I need right now.
Right? Oh my God.
So anyways, do your homework on who the person is. And it doesn't need to be anything crazy. Just like Gary said, you could say that there was a post that like really spoke to you. Just recently this week, I was reading an email newsletter that came into my inbox by Jia Jiang, who wrote Rejection Proof. And, I read his book or I read part of his book and still trying to get through it. But, he showed up in my email list and I decided to, he said, tweet me and like follow me on Twitter and I'll follow you back. And I don't know if he followed me back. Because I was like, but I was trying to be a little bit tactful and actually share part of his newsletter and he liked it. So, there's that, but that's a little bit, that goes like a little bit deeper than like, hey, you're an author. Cool. So, hey, Al, what did she say? My goal is deepening the connections I already have versus adding more people to my network. Yes, that is exactly what one of the things that we're suggesting is. Did she give away our number 2? No, that's not.
No,
but,
right?
Oh yeah. But so anyways, on this, do your homework. Like some of the questions that you can ask when you're doing your homework is like, think about like, what is it that you admire about this person? Why are you drawn to them in the first place? What have they done that's inspiring to you? Just go beyond the profile. Like if you look at my LinkedIn profile, you'll see all the jobs that I had before. And my work for my current stuff is probably the shortest because I'm not listing off like all the little duties. Like that would just take forever for me to list all of that, because that's the work of an entrepreneur.
All of your
Look at what
duties.
they're look at what they're posting currently, which is what Gary said. And then Gary, you said something when we were planning out this quickie about, maybe even, go the step of like setting up a Google alert for their business name, right? How does that work?
So one of the things when so in my business, I do facilitation. I do facilitation for various companies, and I authentically want to connect with other people that are in those industries that I serve, where if it makes sense, I would friends hire friends, but that is not my first intention of connecting with people to pitch them on my services, because it's not for everyone. But at the same time, I like being connected with people just to hear what they're talking about and yada yada yada. So nonetheless, I do have some people that I'm like, yeah, it would be great to work work with these companies. And so I have a bunch of Google alerts. You can just go to, I think it's google.com/alert. So you can set up an alert where you get an email when certain things show up in Google search results. And so I have various the people that I'm already connected with, especially if I'm trying to continue to deepen the relationship. I have Google alerts for that company name. And when things show up in that company name, I'm like, oh wow, that's so awesome. I will randomly send them a message and say, hey, I just saw this article. That's so awesome. And again, I'm just deepening the relationship. And it seems random, but it's a little bit structured. So that's what
Yeah.
I like to do. And again, it's just, and it goes, actually, it's a great piggyback into our number two is, how can you make it a win-win? It should not be about you. Stop. If you think it's about you, then you're already wrong. And this is something that I bring from my experience in improvisation. We think about, hey, how can we make this a win-win for people? So, if you want to authentically connect with someone and make a deep relationship that will last years, stop thinking about yourself.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think too, like when it is a win-win, you want that person to connect with you, but you have to ask the question, like, what's in it for them? What value are you going to add to their plate? And that's going to make them even more compelled to connect with you in that way. And so I missed what Pat had said in her comment, but
Oh, she loves rejection proof.
oh yeah. So really, really think about, how do we make this a beneficial thing, right? Because relationships always go both ways. Like it's not a one-sided thing. And if you look at relationships where one person's giving and the other person's taking, that's not really a relationship. That's just like what's that? What is that difference with like the symbiotic relationship and what's the other one? The one that
the
like
the vampire relationship that
I can't remember
or
what the
I
word
don't
is.
know the exact name. I forgive me. I
Fine.
don't
Oh,
know the
it's
technical
Thursday
name.
afternoon. So yes, what is your want? How can and also like just when you're making the connection, how can you just be upfront about it? So yeah, and then one of the last things is just focus on the actual connection rather than just the transaction, right? Don't just friend somebody for the sake of getting another number added to your list. Like, what is this that you're gonna do?
Yeah, and that again, we say this over and over again because it's important. It is about the relationship. You wouldn't go into and actually, I some people do because I've been to some of these networking events and it's creepy. That's why we were saying don't come across as a creeper. But like you wouldn't like go to a bar with the outcome of trying to connect with with someone and have a romantic relationship, and go up to them and say, "Hey,
Hey, baby.
how about we just skip the chase and get married? We can schedule some time, my calendar, and I can tell you why I'm a great candidate, and let's get married." Uh, they're going to look at you like you're crazy, right?
Cuckoo.
Why do we do that in non-romantic relationships, like a professional relationship? That's what I consider it the equivalent of. Let's start connecting with people. Let's see if we even, mesh well. So, yeah, that's why it's all about making it a win-win. And, this, again, good segue into the third one is be authentic when you reach out. And this, a number of people who may be watching this live or the replay, you might be on your way up as far as in your professional career, and you're, trying to sound professional, and you want to make these professional connections. And I can be honest, like, when you're inauthentic and you're trying to, like, I don't know, like, there's just something about it. It leaves a scent. If you're going to reach out to someone and connect with them, like, leave a note, but don't feel like it's, like this, I don't know, I don't know how to put the words to it. It's just so weird. Something that maybe you Googled and you took someone's sort of swipe file and then you just put it in there. The best way to do that is leave a message how you would talk. When I leave it, I actually sort of talk it out and I type it out. And one thing that I do is once I have, what I like to say, depending on what my objective is, if I'm trying to increase my network because I want to learn and from this and connect with other people so I can feel connected in this industry, I will reach out to a few people and I will sort of talk it out and I will keep that. But it's not like a template where I'm just like copy paste to 100 people. I just have some sound bites of what I like to say. But in that, it's very specific. I talk about what my wants are. I tend, as you watching this, you understand like sort of my tone, like I'm, very sort of warm and friendly. That's just how I talk. So my reach out is the same way. That's just how I get down. And again, it's not for everyone, but it works for me. And the main thing is once I'm connected with people and we start, connecting elsewhere, like they see the continuity. They see that I'm congruent. It's not like one of these sort of bait and switch where, they connect with you and then you're starting to talk with them and it's like, wait a second, this just seems off. So what do you got on that?
Yeah, I mean, 100%. I mean, that I'm like, I care so much about authenticity. There was recently somebody had reached out to me on LinkedIn who connected with me, and I knew them already. And I got a template message. Just because it was so obvious that it wasn't that person. It was almost like they forgot that they knew me, and I was a little put off. So I felt like I was getting a template message, but, I wanted to give the benefit of the doubt. So I responded with a very authentic message. And then I got another authentic message back, and that first message was completely disregarded. So it's interesting to see how those things can show up, but like it can really rub people the wrong way when they feel like they're just, a cog in the wheel, and it makes it feel like, you're not paying attention to me when what you want from me is a connection. So really, really think about that. The other thing, the template messaging, again, what we're suggesting may not be the like quick and dirty, like, hey, this is the template. And, sometimes some people can say things, that just capture everything that you need to say. But if it's not in your voice, when you lose that congruence, when you actually like have a relationship where you're conversing with each other, that can really be off-putting in some senses. And, people can stay open-minded, and we understand the need to, reach out to as many people as you can and not have to write that many, but, you could really increase your opportunities by just, going for quality and not quantity. I'm going to just keep on saying that.
Yes.
Do we have a bonus tip this week?
We do have a bonus tip.
This is a longer quickie. We are putting some elbow grease into this one because this is such a powerful topic, and it's actually been on our topic list for a long time. And we were like, well, maybe we should do this now because this is super important. So yes, we have a bonus tip here.
Yeah.
Let you go.
Yeah, and the bonus one is flattery, if it's done right, can be very powerful. Again, why not? Why not make someone feel good? Especially if it's done in an authentic way. If you've done your homework, you know what they're currently talking about, and if something really did move you, tell them that. I am like the first to be like, oh my gosh, like I like again, there's a fine line between being a fanboy and just getting like completely like bananas to like genuinely admiring someone's work and letting them know how it impacted them. That again is going to get you to stand out compared to the other people that are just doing the complete template message. Because again, this makes you slow down. You can't do this super fast. And that's why, as Yael mentioned, I'll find that comment and I'll put it back up. For her, it's all about deepening the connections that she already has versus adding more people to the network. There's a book that I finished recently, and they were talking about the size of someone's network. Again, prior to social media and things like that, they said that people can only manage about 125, 150 connections. And there's even within that 150, there's different groups. So anything over that, you can't really manage. And people are using things like Facebook and LinkedIn and whatnot, more like a Rolodex or a directory of people rather than real authentic connections. And that's our point about this, is how can you connect with someone in a true and authentic way. And speaking of flattery, I was very authentic, and I think do we have that first message I sent you on LinkedIn?
Yes, I was just looking for it. So Gary reached out to me in, was that March of 2016? So we are coming up on our 5-year friendiversary.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna just give you an example of an authentic, flattering reach out. And back then, this was a time where I think my network was still small, and I was just starting my business and really taking some steps. And I don't even know how Gary found me. You can share that.
I do know how, and I'll tell that.
But here's what he said. He sent this to me on LinkedIn, which is funny because I don't think that we've talked on LinkedIn since we actually set up a time to talk. But he said, "Hey, April, just want to send you a quick note to say thanks for connecting. I really love all that you're doing at The Cheerful Mind. I'm starting to do work helping people integrate play into their lives, and I appreciate anyone who is trying to get people to have more fun in life. I see that you're coming to San Diego." So I think the post that he saw was something that somebody had promoted on my behalf.
Your old coach said that you were doing a workshop, and it was talking about play.
In San Diego, where he lived. And so for him to reach out and say, and notice this, he was like, "If I'm available, I want to come to your event. Cheers." And I was like, whoa, like, I don't even know how he found this, but that's great. And I don't remember what I said because I just found the thing, but it's just, look at where we are now. Like 5 years later, we are like partners on running this amazing accountability success circle. Oh, and like, I need to have Gary in my life. He's my partner in crime, partner in play, you say, right?
Yes.
And we just we are like peanut butter and jelly. I don't know. I'm going to get all mushy now, but there's that. And I was also looking back at some of the other things that I've done where, obviously those people who are like influencers or, people who you want to get attention from, you want to try to reach out to them on social media. I'm trying to find it, but like, here's an example. So, one of the guys who plays George Washington on Broadway's Hamilton, Gary had sent me a cameo video from him, and he sent me a personal message, and I wanted to thank him, so I reached out to him on social media, and I like tagged him in a social media post, and I was like, "This is amazing. I'm so happy." And he responded back to me. So that was cool. And when I went to go see Freestyle Love Supreme on Broadway a couple Octobers ago, there was one guy who I just realized went to Northwestern, which obviously I went to Northwestern, and I didn't even realize it until they mentioned it later in the show. And I was like, "Go Cats!" And he responded back. And so those types of things were, super authentic, super simple, but, it was enough for them to want to engage back. And that's what you're hoping for when you're starting to build these connections. And then you've kind of got your foot in the door, and then you can move along with that. I connected with like the guitarist who was playing for John Mayer's last tour, because he is from Chicago, and I like sent him a video of himself playing on stage, and he like talked to me, and he was like, I'm doing a show here, like actually reaching out to me. So that's the type of stuff that is like super powerful. And I don't reach out to celebrities that often, or like people who are, super busy and crazy like that. But to even just do something where it's authentic, it's kind of off the cuff, and it's you. And, I'm blowing their egos a little bit. So who doesn't love that? This is the flattery. So they will respond. So anyways, this has been like probably our longest edition of the ASC Quickie. We obviously pride ourselves in giving you some awesome, powerful information that helps you get stuff done while you're having more fun. And if you want to join our amazing community, go to accountabilitysuccesscircle.com. Come join the 300 plus people who are rocking it in their goals and have a great kickstart to 2021. If you are, I don't know, Gary, if you have the link that you can share, we are already promoting our annual planning retreat for 2022, which happens October 8th through 10th, I think, 2021, 8th through 10th. Yeah. It's Columbus Day weekend. And for the next 10 days, so till the end of January, we are doing a 50% off promotion. And all you have to do is type in the code BY 2020, and you can come join us and set that week over. And we've got already a whole bunch of people signed up. It's going to be an amazing weekend. Hopefully we can have it be both virtual and in person, but if COVID's still raging at that point, then we'll do another virtual retreat, which will be great, and hope to see you. But at the very least, come check out our community. You can test out the community for 1 month for free. So it's worth it. It's worth every tiny little penny that we ask to just kind of keep the lights on and help keep us motivated to keep the thing running. So, all right, we're done. I'm done. Are you done?
Woo! I am spent.
This was not a quickie. This was like a low and slow.
We went the distance. I'm going to have to get a cigarette now. But if you have any tips on how you network and connect without being a creepster, or what are the things that you hate? What are your pet peeves? Leave a comment just so we can, again, eradicate creepsters and help people connect in a more authentic way. As you can tell, the reason why it went so long is because we are so passionate, and as Yael said, size isn't everything. So that is all.
Continuing the innuendo,
right? That's all. Put a fork in us. We are done. But we'll see you in a few weeks for our next quickie. Be well, everyone. See you next time.
Ta-ta. Size isn't everything.